Changed my mind. We are our grandparents. We are our parents. This is where the idea for uppity Negro apparel and accessories comes from. We are the uppity Negroes that defy boundaries, broke chains, climbed mountains, and crossed valleys of hatred, bigotry, illiteracy, and oppression. The statement is simple. The cause is never ending. The sound, loud. Say it with me, Kendrick. I am that uppity Negro.
Join Bobby for the takeover every Tuesday night as she tackles tough subjects with her trademark humor and wit. We guarantee you'll be educated, edified, and also entertained. So join us at 8 p.m. every Tuesday night, right here on Trailblazers Radio.
So, hello. And of course, everything went wrong 3 minutes before the show's supposed to start. Never fails. So, it's 7 o'clock. Well, it's 2 minutes after 7. I'm 2 minutes late. And we are here. I hope that everyone can see me on YouTube and on my Bobby Takes Over page. And like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel, and then you'll know when I come and do when I'm getting ready to do another show. And the only thing that I have to change is what I really do to change it is that my show starts at 7 instead of 8, because sometimes my show goes almost 3 hours because people don't want to get off. And it's fine, it's okay. I feel like I have just ran a marathon. After I laid back, I said I was going to relax and I was going to get myself ready for the show and I'll be okay. Well, no, none of that happened. None of that happened because 3 minutes before the show, my computer decided it didn't want to bring up. Okay, never mind. Never mind. So we are going to be talking about the monsters that we create. This is I guess would be a piggyback on another show that I did, talking about us being toxic to us. And I find it necessary to do this show because of the posts that I see on TikTok and Facebook. It's just ridiculousness. I don't know why my earrings feel like they're backwards, but I guess all you need to know is that it's Black Girl Magic. I'm trying to be magical today. So first things first, let's get everything out of the way because I don't know why I don't like doing it, but I need to. So we have I have merchandise for Uppity Negro. My book is still available. It's called Ma. Maybe later on the show I'll have time to get it because it's right over there and I can't reach it. But anyway, and I've decided to lengthen that particular book. Instead of doing two, I'm going to do one book. And then which is what I'm going to do is just add to that one. Because it just makes more sense. And that one is so short anyway. Anyway, so I wanted to talk to you about, first of all, these new millennial women and their inability to understand that being alone in your 20s and 30s sounds really good. It does. It sounds great. It sounds empowering. And it sounds brave, I guess, to most folks. But the problem lies in the fact that if you don't die at that age, you're going to continue to get older. And things are going to droop unless you got the money to fix it. And the problem with that is that particular thing is this. You've spent all your money traveling because that's what people are telling you to do. People are telling you that while you're young, the best thing for you to do is to travel. Don't worry about getting married. Don't worry about making commitments. Travel, see the world. And it sounds great. It sounds romantic. It sounds really good to your ears. And it's great if you have the money to do that. But most people that I know are just trying to figure out if they were going to be able to eat more than just noodles today. I'm taking a note. I got to take notes to remember everything I want to talk about today, because I'm going to hit on a couple of different subjects and they're probably going to make people very upset and feel like I'm coming from some archaic place in the world. But I believe, and this is my opinion, that this is what I'm going to talk about is how it's supposed to be. Now you might disagree, and that's fine. And I welcome you to come into the comment section, and we can talk about it. We can debate on it. I see these young women who are being given advice by they're considered older to them, women in their 40s or whatever, I guess, who don't have a man, who don't have children, and who find it necessary to remind us every day that they're happy being alone, and they're satisfied. And then they talk about their worth and how valuable their worth is and all this other stuff. But when I think about things and I've had this show before about diamonds and things that are rare and expensive, and I've studied the thing about diamonds and the clarity and the color that goes through and all that stuff. But if you feel within yourself that you are so rare and valuable and unattainable, then you are just a showpiece. You are the mannequin in the window. You are what's on display. And I use this with this metaphor with a friend of mine. So you go into Victoria's Secrets or Dillard's or Belk's or some of those other fine show, more, to me, they're just expensive for no reason. But anyway, you go into there and you go up to the counter and there are things on the counter and therefore display. Everybody has touched them. Everybody has used them and therefore display. And they're not for sale. And that's what you've done to yourself. You put yourself on display and you're not for sale. Nobody wants anything to do with you because you have deemed yourself so valuable and so worth so much that you are unattainable. And the excuse you make is there ain't no man out there that could compete with what you already have. And so now you're alone at 40, 50, 60. And maybe you have one child, maybe you don't have any children. So now you're alone in the house with either that ugly dog or 15 cats, 3 lizards, and an iguana. And you're still saying that you're happy because you don't have to be with nobody, or nobody was worthy enough to be with you. Things that are valuable, people want. They don't want to just look at it. They want it. They want to possess that thing. So if you that valuable and you've deemed yourself worthy beyond what anybody can ascertain or even get to, if you're that person, if you're that valuable, then why nobody want to be around you? Why nobody don't want you? Why nobody vying for your attention? And this is the thing, people are doing that. There are men out there or a woman out there that is vying for your attention. But in your head, they're not good enough because they're not set up so that you can just walk into your fantasy life. Because that's what a lot of women are saying. He got to have everything click, 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 click. He got to have it all together. He can't have no problems. He can't have no issues. He can't have anything that he's going through. He can't. He have to be, or she have to be perfect. And then we go into your closet and you damaged. You done been hurt. You got skeletons that's been rattling in there for the last 3-4 years. But you want the person that you're going to meet to be perfect and already set up. You don't want to go through nothing to get to where you want to get to. And then if you do that, what value do you have for that person? What is that person doing for you? Except just letting you walk into, listen, it's never going to happen. You're never going to meet the person that is perfect for you and that's going to tick off there's a couple of boxes that might get missed. I listened to a girl on TikTok. I love her video. She's very funny. And her videos are usually on point. But her video today was her talking to someone on the phone, pretending to talk to somebody on the phone. And she says, oh, I had a great time at the date last night. Everything was wonderful. I enjoyed myself and I want to do it again. But there are a few questions I didn't get to ask last night because, we were all into talking about whatever. So she asked him if he's married. She asked him if he has kids. She asked him, is anybody married to you? Funny, whatever. And then she goes, do you vote? And obviously whoever was on the pretend phone was like, no. And then she says, well, so you don't care about women's rights and climate control, whatever. So obviously I don't know what he said. And then she goes, okay, well then let me go walk my goldfish and I'll call you back later. And then she blocks and deletes the person. What message is that sending people? You gonna give up all whatever he may have to offer, and it may not have worked out, but you wouldn't know because he don't vote and he don't believe in the issues that you believe in. So instead of getting to know him better and going on another date and trying to teach him where you are because you feel like you've been enlightened and you've reached something of enlightenment, you just decided you're not going to deal with him at all. And he might have been the one. And then again, he may not have been the one, but you don't know. You have no idea if he was the one or not. You have no idea who he is. Because you didn't give him a chance beyond the fact that he missed 2 or 3 things on your list. I'm not understanding. Opposites attract. And if you're looking for somebody that is just like you, it's not gonna work out because you gonna get tired of them and they gonna get tired of you because y'all not sharpening each other. They say iron sharpens iron. All you had to do is go on another date with him or whatever, or talk to him a little bit more and figure out what his ideas are. What is your ideology? What are your theories on politics if that's what you're into? But you ain't even give bro a chance because he don't vote. And that is what we're doing. We are meeting people, and if they do 1 or 2 things that might require us doing work, we just drop them off because we're not doing no work because I'm so busy working on myself. And working on yourself is great, but if you don't get any outside advice or get some kind of outside influence or outside ideas, then sis, or bruh, you the problem. You the reason you ain't got nobody. You the reason nobody want to hang out with you because they don't like you. I've said this before. I know it's harsh, but they don't like you. They don't like you because you have put yourself in such a valuable state. Nobody want to hang out with the display. Nobody want to hang out with the person that is putting out the fact that they want somebody and you put yourself on display. I'm displaying that I want a husband. I'm showing everybody that I got this and that and other. But then the things that you do contradict all of that. I don't know what or who started teaching that. If you're a woman and and a man is looking, because you're looking for a man is not a woman's job, period. And he's out there looking. And all you doing is displaying. And you don't want to talk to him because he ain't got no teeth. You don't want to talk to him because he catch the bus. You don't want to talk to him because he ride a bicycle. You don't want to talk to him because he live with his mama. All of those things are fixable. All of those things can be, and nobody, listen, do not come for me with this. I'm not going to have to, I'm not going to fix no man. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about fixable in a way that you and the other person can grow together. You and the other person can work on those things. And believe me, the least of your worries is that Booker ain't got no teeth. So, and the things that you think are great about you, he might think that you need a little work in those areas. That's how you grow together. That's how you get to know a person. That's how you stay together for 50 years. Because y'all worked on each other. Y'all worked to be a unit. And going into a relationship with this 50 bull crap, where y'all get that from? If I'm only giving you 50% of me and you giving where your other 50% going? And I ain't trying to be deep. I'm dead serious. Because I'm giving you 100% of me. I'm giving you all of me. So why would you say I'm going in 50-50? I need to know, unless you're talking about finances. Okay. But if you talk about the entire relationship, no, boo, I need all of you because I'm about to give you all of me. Muffin top, jelly thighs, stomach, bald head, and everything. You get all of it. 100%. But we say these things because they sound cute. We say these things because people on TikTok, it is trending. And you're going to get yourself in a ditch somewhere. You on TikTok, and I promise you, I'm not deep. I'm not that kind of person. But you on TikTok with a spaceship behind you on your little green screen or whatever. And you saying Earth is ghetto and I want to get out of here. Keep on speaking into the atmosphere that you're ready to go. Because the Earth is the only planet habitable for humans. I ain't trying to be deep. I'm telling you the truth. You keep on putting in the atmosphere that you want to get from here. Where in the hell are you going? I just want to know where you're going. Because wherever you go, the problems that you have and the issues that you have is going with you. Where you going? And I know it's supposed to be funny or whatever, but the things that come out your mouth are real and you can't take it back. So now everybody trending, Earth is ghetto and I'm ready to go. The only way you're going to get from here is to have your name called in the Father's. Listen. The monsters that we create are us because we are our own worst enemy. Our mouths get us in trouble, and the things that we do to each other get us in trouble. And I'm including myself because I'm still working on my mouth and the things that come out of it. I try to be very, very, very careful about what I say to people, and I try to be very careful about what I put into what I say out of my mouth when I'm when I'm reading or whatever. I'm trying to make sure that my mind is stayed on being positive and being healthy. And then I turn on TikTok and you want to get on a spaceship and leave Earth because it's ghetto. It's what we made it. Whatever is happening on, we did it because it's called free will and we did it. And you can't blame nobody else. One thing I wanted to talk about very briefly before I get into, and that was just my introduction, ain't that crazy? One thing I wanted to talk about before I got too deep into 2 Samuel 11 and then 2 Samuel 13, talking about the monsters that we create, is this idea of traveling alone. I know that it sounds brave and romantic. And do it if you can afford it. Do what you have to do to have your peace. I'm great with that. But you posting these pictures, talking about you alone and how great it is and all of that, you posting these pictures on Facebook or TikTok or whatever, and we may not know where you are. We may not know that region or the hotel, but I bet you this, somebody on there know where you at. And you putting yourself in danger. And especially some of these women getting on here talking about they alone and showing this and showing. You keep right on. Because somebody who is not out for just to watch you and give you likes is out there watching you. Keep on telling people when you're going out of town and how long you're going to be gone. Keep right on. Because most of the time when people hurt us and they steal and they do, it's somebody you know. This platform, this Facebook and TikTok and all of that, I like all. A lot of people say they don't like it. Well, that's fine. I think it's a great tool. I think they're great tools to meet people and all of that other stuff. But some of the things that we do when we get on there, we endanger ourselves. And I learned that the hard way when I was driving trucks, telling people what town I was in, telling people what exit I was at, and then being stalked by the creepiest people I've ever met in my life. I understand a lot. Listen, tell them, show the pictures of the vacation when you get home and you're safe. You telling people I'm going to be gone for, man. It is the same premise as do not talk to strangers. You remember that one? Because it seems like a lot of adults have forgotten that particular thing. You don't talk to strangers. And it's not just people you don't know. Because I talk to people all the time I don't know. I'm talking about people who are strange. Strangers. Until you are able to get your intuition and your and your mind ready to meet somebody else's spirit, and you understand that I cannot get the word out, and I hate when I do that. But until you follow your intuition and you're able to discern who people are, keep your behind home. Stay out these countries where blacks, and most of them are following the guidelines of the white people that we have in this country. And we're not welcome in a lot of places. There are entire YouTube videos on places that they tell you places where black folks are not welcome. But if we can't keep you out of Walmart and some of these other places that don't think that we're human, then I don't know how we're gonna keep you out of other countries once you get your passport. So anyway, I was talking about the monsters that we create. And a lot of times we talk about haters and all of this other stuff. Some people just ain't haters. They just don't like you. Some people ain't haters. They just ignoring you because they don't care. You don't, and I guarantee you don't have as many haters as you think you do. I guarantee it. And I'm going to tell you how I know, because somebody knows you in real life. People know you in real life. They know that most of the stuff that you put on here is a bunch of crap. They know that you got a friend with a nice house and that's where you do your best work. They know that that's a hotel room in their city and you're not out of town. They know what your husband like because you keep man. The monsters we create are the things that are built on our insecurities in ourselves. And so because we're insecure in ourselves, we project this image or we project this persona of I'm okay all the time. I'm all right. I don't need nobody. I don't want no man. I saw a lady the other day listing all of the things she don't do, and that's why she don't have no man, and she's happy about it. And I guarantee you, 2 or 3 times a week, she laid in that bed crying by herself. Or she do what I used to do, sit in the middle of the bed, eat a banana split. And biblically, again, you are wrong to want to be alone like that. You need to have a friend. You ain't got to marry him, just have a friend. And maybe you do. But how warm does that friend keep you in the wintertime? How much cuddling does that friend give you if you're not interested in the same sex? And what happens when that best friend doesn't answer the phone? The example that I have is very extreme. And it's extreme because of how I am going to approach this idea. Um, so before I get into David and Tamar and Amnon, his son and daughter, let's talk about the idea of traveling alone and being by yourself. And I don't need no man, and I don't really need nobody. If you ask me the question, I don't need nobody. This is what people are saying, and then they're saying I'm a feminist. I want you to go on Google, like I did, and look up the word feminist. There's no solid definition, and I went through 16 pages, almost 20, looking for a definitive definition. Just give me a definition, and there aren't any. It's all over the place. It's fluid, if you will. Ah, Jesus, help us with the fluid. And then I had the question: how has the feminist movement helped Black women in our causes? Because we walked beside them when it was time to vote, and they got to vote, and we still didn't get to vote for years until years later. So what has the feminist movement? I'm talking about this new thing now. This feminist movement that we got going on right now, where it has gone beyond just equal pay. Now we want to basically be a man. We want gifts on Father's Day if we're single mothers. I don't. If you're a single mother and you have boys, your boy should have a male mentor in their life. I don't care if it's your daddy, your uncle, anybody else. Because a lot of the women that I see with boys, they treat their sons as they get older, like that's their boyfriend. Date nights, you talking to him about your issues, like he mature enough to understand it. And good God, don't let him get a girlfriend, because you turned into the monster that I'm talking about. How has the feminist movement helped the Black cause? How has it? Because when the Black young lady, I can't never remember her name, and I wasn't going to bring her up obviously because I don't have it in my notes. She started it was started by a Black woman, Me Too movement, and they took that and ran with it, and now that's all screwed up. It's just confusing. It was a set way that she wanted it ran, and once white women got a hold of that, they just added it onto those white woman tears, and it's just a mess. It is a mess. Just like everything else they put their hand on, once they finish dealing with it and just it's a mess. And then we have the LBGT, whatever, how many letters they have under that community. How has that community helped the Black cause? They're using civil rights law to get everything they want, marriage, insurance, all of those things with same sex. But how have they helped in the Black community? I'm serious. Because more Black LGBT, whatever you want to put on the internet, are being assaulted and killed than white ones. So how are they helping the cause? I have nothing against any of these things I'm talking about. I'm just asking the question. How have they advanced us in any way without us doing all the legwork for ourselves? I don't know. I don't know. And these new millennials, these new young ladies jump on that train of I'm not going to do such and such. I'm not going to do any of this stuff. Well, don't do it, because if you don't, somebody will. And you'll be in your 40s and your 50s and your 60s alone, surrounded by all the beautiful things that you have accumulated over the years, alone. Because you don't want to cook. I don't understand. You don't want to. You're not gonna clean up after somebody. That this is what you say. But you clean up after that ugly dog. You'll go outside and walk behind that dog and pick up his. But you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna pick up a man's socks. I'm just asking a question. You're not gonna be with him because he's trifling or whatever. But you'll bail your son out 50,000 times after you know this booger done did wrong. I'm trying to understand. I don't understand. I'm at a loss. And then I'm just at a loss. So here we go. So everybody knows about David in the Bible. David in the lion's den and David fighting wars and all this other stuff. So David has a daughter named Tamar. And he has a son named Amnon. And you'll be able to find me in 2 Samuel 11 and then go over to 2 Samuel 13. That sounded like a preacher just did, didn't I? Scared you. I scared myself. And so Israel is at war. David is the king. They're at war. And the first mistake that David made was not going and not because before David is a fighter, he's a warrior. You know, he slayed Goliath. The first mistake he made was not being out there with his men while they fought the war. That was the first mistake. So now he's walking around the house bored and with nothing to do except get himself into trouble that he got himself into. So he's walking on the top porch. He's walking on the roof, basically, on one of the porches of and he's looking out over all that he has accomplished in the name of God. Okay, and so he's looking out, and there's a woman on her roof of her own house bathing. He is enamored by her, and because she's so beautiful, and he gets one of his men to go to her and bring him to him, and he proceeds to have sex with her. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called rape, because rape is not about the sexual act. Rape is about power over another person, and so he raped Bathsheba, and then he sends her home because he's done. Time goes by, and the Bible just happens to mention that she was cleaning herself because she had just got off her cycle, ovulating. So then she goes back. He sends her back home. He done. He did what he wanted to do. Not too long after that, she sends him a note to go, listen, dog, I'm pregnant. What you gonna do? He doesn't answer. It doesn't say that he answers her at all. But this is what he does do. He sends for her husband, Uriah. And he tells Uriah, I'm so grateful to you for doing whatever. I'm going to give you a couple of days to spend with your wife. See, this is where you're trying to cover up the mess he done made. But Uriah is so faithful and has such integrity that he doesn't go home. He sleeps on the porch outside with the other guards because he figured if his men are out there, this is what he tells David after David asks him why you didn't go to your wife. I can't do that if my men are out there fighting and struggling or whatever. Okay, cool. Integrity to the core. So then David brings him back and invites him to dinner and he feeds him. And then he gets him drunk and Uriah still doesn't go home. He sleeps again outside. So then he gives Uriah a note the next day and tells Uriah to give it to the person in charge when he gets back. On the note, Uriah, unbeknownst to Uriah, the note says, put him out front, everybody else step back and let him get killed. Because he'd rather have him killed than to face up with the fact that he raped his man's wife. And now she was about to have his baby. So time goes on. I don't know if she moves into the castle, to the castle or whatever. I don't remember. It doesn't say any of that. But she has the baby and the baby dies. And David goes into mourning, deep mourning. He rips his clothes, he's yelling, and he's emotional, and he puts ashes on his head, and he goes into deep mourning. Okay, so skip from that. Go over to the 13th of 2 Samuel. And this is where we're going to meet 3 of David's children and a cousin. So Amnon is one of David's sons by one of his many wives. They have a sister, half sister, and her name is Tamar. This is from another mama. And then he has another son, Absalom. Absalom is actually Tamar's brother from the same mom. The problem comes in because Amnon is in love with Tamar and he wants her and he don't know what to do. So he's confiding in his cousin. I think his name is Jedabab or something like that. It's Jadabon, I think. I can't pronounce it. But we'll call him Cousin Jay. Cousin Jay tells him, listen, I can tell you how to get her. It ain't gonna be no big deal. Go in there, pretend you're sick. Tell your daddy you want your sister to come in and feed you, and that'll make you feel better. So Amnon, in his sick mind, does this, and he does just that. And while she's fixing his food, he rapes her. And she is just devastated. She even says, let's tell our daddy what you did, and he'll let me marry you. And he don't even want her no more. In the Bible, it says as much as he loved her in that moment, when he was done with her, he hated her. And he sent her out, and she was just shamed. So she went to go live with her brother Absalom for the rest of her life in shame. David knew because someone told him, and he did nothing to Amnon. You know why? Because he didn't have no foot to stand on, because that was the monster that he created. See what I mean? Some of the things that go awful in our lives are monsters that we create, either by action or by something that comes out of our mouth. Like the white lady that's on TikTok now apologizing for saying that she smelled like a dirty Mexican. She trying to get tears to come out of her eyes, but she couldn't do it to save her life. Now her business is closed, and we have no idea indefinitely, because that's the monster she created. The monster was her, with her racist self. And we do some of the same things. The things we say, some of the things that we do to people, we create. We created that. And so then maybe you the problem. Maybe you the problem. You ever think about that? Maybe it's not the haters. Maybe it's not the kids. Maybe it's not your husband or your ex-husband or your ex-boyfriend or your mama. Maybe it's just you, sis, bruh. Maybe it's just you. Maybe you're just the problem. So there's no easy way to put this. Sometimes the problem may be you. Or you think, wow, everyone else seems to have things so easy. Why does my life always have to be so difficult and fraught with problems? Because sometimes you're the problem. You're the difficult one. You're the difficult thing in your life. Brought about by insecurities, pride, unforgiveness of others. All of those things could be the reason why you're the problem. And there may not be issues with everybody else. Everybody else does not have it easy. Everybody got issues. Everybody got problems. Everybody got something going on. Is the problem you? And if so, what can you do about it? The problem may have something to do with you if every relationship you have seems to end in failure. You have very few friends, or the friendships you do have are very shallow. You have a difficult time interacting with others at work. You have a difficult time interacting with your family. Time and time again, you think to yourself, what is wrong with everyone else? Now, you don't have to have all of these issues. You don't have to have two. You can just have one of these things, and therein lies your problem for your life, and that's what needs to be fixed. These are just a few of the signs that the problem isn't with everyone else. We all feel this way to some extent at one point or another in our lives. But if you feel like this nearly every day, and the problems you have with others seems to be endless, then the problem may be you. It may be you. Everybody can't be wrong and you be right. Not in every situation. So you the problem. And the only person that can fix the problem, that is you, is you. And that's it. First thing that you need to do is you need to acknowledge that you have a problem. And the problem is you. You need to go look at yourself in the mirror, cut your phone on, look in your camera, whatever you want to do it. And you need to tell yourself, I am my own problem. I am the problem, and I need to fix it. And then you need to acknowledge what about you is the problem. Is it arrogance? Is it pride? Is it being unwilling to forgive people? Is it conceitedness? Is it insecurity? Is it doubt in yourself? This is probably the most difficult part, having the insight and objectivity to finally realize that perhaps the real problem isn't with everyone else. The problem may be with you, how you're interacting with the world, and how you're perceived by others. Maybe the problem is as simple as the way you communicate with other people. And we're talking about communication in back and forth, communication on one of these platforms, your body language, and how you carry yourself, and how you are around other people. Because you might be the problem. And the hardest thing about addiction or things that are wrong is admitting that I did it to myself. And so now you have to work on changing you. And the good news is that if the problem is indeed you, then the solution also lies within you. That means you can change the direction your life is taking for the better. But it also means you have to consciously choose to change. That is the same thing with addiction. That's your choice. That's their choice. You can't make nobody do anything. You might maybe throw them in rehab, but you can't make them not do it when they get back out. You can't make people do, but you don't have control over anybody else but yourself. So you have to consciously choose to change. It is a conscious decision to not be the problem or the toxic thing in your own life. Because it is the only thing you have control over. At the end of the day, I don't care who you laying against, who you lying next to. It's still just you. And that's it. And the only person that can change you is you. Because the only person that knows you better than anybody is you. And it takes honesty and it's hard work. Ask me, because I know I'm working on it as we speak. It's hard work. And we talked about that earlier with these women who want their man already set up and fixed. Like she can order it from Amazon. The same way you need him to have it all together, he needs you to have it all together. But that doesn't mean you have to do it separately. That doesn't mean you have to be alone to do it. You can be with somebody and work on yourself and then help them work on them. Iron sharpens iron. It's called work. And a lot of women, the majority of women who are alone, don't want to put in the work. And it might just be because they're hurt. It might just be because they're tired and they don't want to do it anymore. And that's fine. Because I've been hurt and I've been tired, but I still am waiting. And I just don't understand. All right, let's keep going. Change is scary. Few people undertake it without having deep second thoughts about it. In this sort of situation, change means getting some sort of help for taking a fresh approach on your life. Most often this means seeing a therapist or a psych. Go see somebody. Preacher, a professional, not the girls you hang out with on Friday nights. Go see somebody who can objectively look in and be able to tell you or just listen to you. And ask you the right questions, because that's usually what therapists do. They just ask the right questions to direct your mind to go where it already knows it should go. Even if the problem is you can address it. Change won't take the form of some sort of psychiatric medication, although a medicine may help for symptoms related to your underlying concerns. Changes like this only happen when you make a concerted effort to improve. And if doing so on your own isn't making much of a difference, turning to a trained therapist or a mental health professional is the best course of action. Go see somebody. I used to tell my mom all the time when I lied. When I had enough of her complaining about my sister or her grandkids, I would tell her, hey, you created that monster. They act like that because I reminded her that they acted that way because she allowed them to. She didn't nip it in the bud from the beginning. Your children yelling and screaming at you. Your children or your husband is cheating on you over and over and over again. That's because there were no consequences. And why would they stop? I say this all the time. We teach people how to treat us. And if they keep failing the lessons we are trying to teach them, then they should not be a priority in your life at all, period. It is disrespectful and hurtful, if you want to be honest, to tell someone what you like and do not like, and they ignore you. I'm sorry, my ears itching. It's allergies. And I hate making that noise that people make. So it is disrespectful and hurtful when I'm trying to teach you how to treat me. And I'm telling you what I don't like or a way that I want, and you just ignore it. That's not a friend. Because I'm giving you everything. I'm giving you all the tools you need for us to be friends or for us to be in a relationship that's going to be lasting and beneficial to both of us. And if you're ignoring the lesson that I'm trying to teach, we have an issue. Because now now you're no longer a priority or a friend. When friends hurt us with us, when friends hurt us with what we did with our own issues, we must shoulder some of the burden of that hurt. We can't just take credit for all the good in our lives. Some of the pain is self-inflicted through how we allow others to treat us. Your children yelling and cursing at you is a learned behavior that you allowed. That is the monster you created. Your husband has cheated on you 4 or 5 times. That is the monster that you created. The list is endless, but the solution is simple. Stop them the first time. Simple. Stop them the first time, and they won't do it again. And you got to stop them flat-footed, standing still, and you got to stop them. Not no little whisper. Tell them. And it's hard, especially if you care about that person and you don't want to lose them. But if they cared about you and loved you, they wouldn't want to lose you either. And that's the truth. It sounds easy when you say it, huh? It is not. Giving up or just walking away from those who we profess to love is very hard. And so then I read an article by Maria Miguel. She did it in July. It was done July 8th of this year, which was just the other day. And this is a quote from her. Love can be an incredibly hard thing to recognize, but it's even harder thing to know when it's time to walk away from any kind of love. You may have waited for years to be able to find someone that you truly felt that you loved, a good friend, and all of that other stuff. Yet now you feel lost, wondering if it's really the right thing, and you aren't sure if it's time to put it into it or if you're supposed to just try to push through it and work through it. It's hard to leave somebody you say you love. It's hard to let go of your children when it's time to just let them go because they're sucking you dry, because there's such a burden on you. It's very hard to make that decision. Do you leave and just walk away, or do you stay and push through? One of the ways that you can tell whether you have to leave or stay is when you're feeling as though you lost who you are as a person. When you lost yourself, you've immersed yourself so much in somebody else's life and their pain and their damage and their baggage that you don't know who you are anymore. It might be time for you to walk away. And even if you're just walking away just to take a break, take a break. Listen, I need about 2 weeks. I need about 2-3 days. I need a couple of hours by myself because I need to figure out what I'm going to do because I don't feel like me. If you wake up one morning and realize that you don't even know who you are and have lost all sense of your own self because you've changed so much to keep the relationship alive, it is a good sign that you should walk away from the relationship. No relationship that you're in should be one-sided. Yeah. If you have changed so much about yourself that you don't recognize yourself or have forgotten about your core values, chances are you're going to need to end that relationship because you didn't get into that relationship to lose yourself. You got into that relationship to better yourself and hopefully better the other person. Both people need to be willing to put in the work 100% from both sides. And then there's the other thing, and that's just pray. Talk to the Father. Talk to Jesus. Ask him which way he wants you to go. And I promise you he'll answer. And it may not be the answer you want, but he's going to answer. It's important to trust the gut feeling that you have in life, the intuition that you have, the idea that you can hear and understand God's voice. If you just know that your relationship isn't right, even if you can't quite put your finger on what it is, then there's no reason to stay in the relationship. If you can't do the pros and cons and all of that, and there's more cons than pros, then maybe it's time to shift. But I wouldn't just walk away. I would try to talk to the other person and let them know how you're feeling, because maybe they're feeling the same way. And maybe if y'all talk about it, y'all can mutually come to an understanding, and it don't have to end. When you're going through the motions but are feeling no happiness at all or love, when you're going to work, coming home, cooking, going to bed, going to work, coming home, cooking, that's not living. That's just a routine that you got going on. It's not living. And you're not making any progress with whoever you're with or whatever you're doing. You're not making no progress. There's no growth in that, because now you're just going through the motions of because you're breathing. But where's the joy in that? Where's the spontaneity in that? Where's the love in that? One of my biggest things is that you're just not feeling respected. And that's what I just said. If I'm teaching you I'm teaching you and showing you through my actions and us talking how to love me and be with me as my friend or my lover or whatever capacity you're going to be, and you continue to ignore that, it's disrespect. You're just not respectful of me and who I want to be and who I am. And so we may have to cut this off if you're not willing to put in the work. The other thing is when there is any kind of abuse, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, then it's time to have a conversation. And if that doesn't work, it's time to go. Because there is one thing that I believe in, that you can do bad by yourself. I believe that you can do that by yourself, but it's not doing that same is not something that is that you can perpetuate all around. So that we're not going to be on here that long. I don't know if people can't see me or anything. I don't have any comments. I have like one person watching, and so I don't know what's going on. I don't know if people just couldn't get through, or maybe I didn't send. I thought I sent everyone a link, but that's okay. I'm fine with how it's going now. And so any kind of abuse, it's time to go. And when you're feeling your opinion doesn't matter, same thing. Respect. You have to respect other people. You have to respect people. And respect is listening to what I have to say, and heeding to the warnings that I give you about how you're treating me and how things are going. And then there's also mistrust, not trusting the other person. And then if the person is acting different, things are not going how they were, and they're more closed off and more in their own world. And the other thing is, we just talked about, you putting in all the effort, you doing all the work, and they're not doing anything. And so I think it's about an hour. I think that's enough. I don't know what's going on with this, but the people that I thought were coming in are not coming in, and it may just be how I may not have sent out what I needed to send out, and that's okay. But here it is. But if you love someone, but you feel that it's time to move on and walk away from love and the relationship, hopefully the advice in this article has helped you. If you're the problem, own up to it and work on yourself. Fix it, because you're the only one that can. You're the only one that can make the monster that you created within yourself. You're the only one that can fix you, because no one loves you like you. And so we're going to end it. I'm going to end it for tonight because I'm not sure what's going on because even my regulars are not here. And I don't know if it's the weather or whatever, but I enjoyed talking. And that's the thing. I'm not a lecturer. I don't like lecturing. I like back and forth, and I'm not getting that. And so we're going to end this. I'll be back next Tuesday at 7 on YouTube. And so like, share, and subscribe. And also on my Bobby Takes Over page. So I hope that everybody's having a good night. And I hope everybody's doing well. And maybe we can take this up next week where we actually have real back and forth conversations. Thank you for joining me. And I love all of y'all.